What's going on YouTube? West Hobbies RC here. Today I want to do something that I get asked or that I see a lot on forums, and basically, which one should you get? The OMP Hobby M1 or the Blade mCPX BL2? I have both models here in front of us, and I would like to try to explain which one you should get, which one you should not get. The choice is really up to you. The price point is not much different. I believe the BL2 is $179.99 and the M1 is $239 or $249. I really can't remember. But we'll start with the BL2 first. Horizon Hobby Blade BL2. Great little helicopter. Flies a lot like a micro. Plastic mainframe. Linear servos, brushless main and tail motor. It is a gear-driven main motor, direct drive tail motor, outrunner on the main on the tail motor, and a in-runner on the main motor. Plastic canopy, pretty big, decent size. 4 canopy grommets. Canopy is actually really nice. One molded or vacuum molded piece, not split like the original one, so it is very durable, very strong canopy. Very nice canopy. All-in-one board, like we're used to seeing on all micros. Linear servos, plastic mainframe, carbon fiber tail boom, plastic head, swash plate, plastic blades, plastic landing skids. This does fly on a 2S pack, 280 milliamps. We'll go with the pros first. So the pros on the BL2 are that it is small. It's a good indoor flyer on low head speed. It is very durable. I have crashed this model couple times, some pretty bad crashes, and it has taken it very well. But as you can see, we have a plastic main rotor head and a plastic swash plate, as well as a plastic mainframe. Flight characteristics of the BL2. It flies good. It does fly like a micro in the sense that it has a lot of play in the head. There is a lot of play. That's all in the head to the swash plate. I know you can get the micro heli swash plate, makes a big difference on the play that is in there. But I chose to leave it stock as just a fun flying beater little helicopter. I have probably around, 70 or 80 flights on this little guy here, and I have flown it a lot. And I say that it is decently powerful. Not super powerful, but it is decently powerful. It does bog under hard collective. It flies like a micro-sized helicopter flies, like the Nano S1, S2, all those. Flies just like that. It flies like I remember the original BL flying that I had many years ago. It is fun for what it is, but it is older technology. There's definitely improvements being made now. We're going to set the BL2 off to the side, and we're going to talk about the infamous and the famous OMP M1. Now, this helicopter is incredible. I gotta say it's incredible. You can tell it's basically the same exact size of a helicopter. There's the BL2 in front, compared to BL2 in the back. Pretty much from main rotor head to rotor head. The M1 is a little longer on the tail boom length. Main blades are a little longer, but it does sit lower. It is definitely lower sitting. It's got the, tilt forward, tails up off the ground, keeps it out. Now, the M1 is the same as it is a brushless tail motor, as well as something different. It is a direct drive brushless main motor. and this motor is massive, and this thing is extremely powerful, incredibly powerful. So now we have plastic tail motor mount. We have an aluminum inverted teardrop style tail boom. We have the plastic mainframe, plastic skids, but all aluminum head. Aluminum swash plate, aluminum blade grips. We have a carbon composite material on the blades. Very little slop in the head. It's incredible quality. We'll pull the canopy off. This does have not full size, but it does have actual servos, not linear servos. The one downfall that I will say to it that I have found so far, well, there's two downfalls. Number one is the canopy is very tight. As you can see, the canopy grommet is broken. That is a problem with the M1s that a lot of people have. And what sucks is you can't buy just the grommet. So I'm going to try to adapt some kind of other grommet over, try something else. But that is the one downfall. Second downfall, it is not a true out-of-the-box, ready-to-fly helicopter, even with the OMP protocol. The gains need to be adjusted on the M1. I'm running a number 3 on the aileron and elevator gain. Speed, I'm at 9 on both elevator, aileron, and rudder. Agility on aileron and elevator, I am at, I believe, 4. And I also had to recenter the servos. My servos were not 90, but that wasn't a big deal. And then I'm also running 54 millimeters of positive negative pitch, which I think equal about 13.5 degrees. You do have to be very careful on your cyclic inputs because it will blow the tail under hard negative collective. All right, so let's see what we got. We have an all aluminum rotor head. We have fixed linkages. So main grip linkages are fixed. Servo links are fixed, but aluminum swash plate, aluminum head block, aluminum main, blade grips, sorry. We do have metal geared plastic cased servos. Try to see the metal gear there. We do have an actual flight controller and ESC, if this camera will ever focus. But we have metal upper and lower bearing blocks / servo holders. I am running a Spectrum DSMX satellite that I took the case off and heat shrunk it just so it would fit inside the canopy better. I am running a Radio Masters TX16S to fly both of these helicopters, but I did just order a Futaba little receiver that Buddy RC sells for the OMP helicopters just to try to make this a little smaller. If you can tell, I've kind of marked up my canopy a little bit from the satellite hitting it, but it's not a big deal. I'm trying to replace the canopy anyways because this was from one crash. But I am flying both helicopters on the Radio Master TX16S. I will say that is an incredible radio. I have been extremely, extremely impressed by it, coming from somebody that has flown Spectrum since the JR and Spectrum days many, many years ago. I will say that I never in my life thought that I would like anything but a Spectrum radio, but I absolutely love that TX16S. It's just incredible. I am flying both the M1 and the M2, or the M1 and the BL2. I'm also flying both of my M2s on the Radio Master TX16S. So the M1 flies on a 2S LiPo as well. It is a 2-cell, 350 milliamp pack. I really like that it is a direct plug-in straight into the board. It is a very snug fit on the battery, slides right in the mainframe, bam, your battery's in, plugs directly in, nice and clean. I'm all about clean wiring. I did shorten the DSMX satellite wires. I cut them, soldered them shorter, and heat shrunk them, so it was just a direct, nice and clean run-in. Other than that, it is an extremely great helicopter. Flies so much bigger than it actually is. If I had to choose between buying a M1 or a BL2, and that's all I could buy, I would 100% go with the M1. I love the M2 or the BL2. I think this is a fantastic little helicopter, but the M1 is leaps and bounds better. That is my personal opinion. That's just me. It's what I like. Now, crashability of both of these helicopters. I will say, the BL2 crashes much better. The M1 I've only crashed twice. I've crashed the BL2 I think 3 times. The M1, both crashes did damage. The first crash was a pretty bad crash. I put it in very hard. I was doing a inverted rainbow, or not a rainbow, but an inverted hurricane. I was doing a rainbow too on the second crash, but on the first one was an inverted hurricane, and I slammed it into the ground inverted pretty hard. And all it did was break the tail boom, the main blades, and that's it. I changed the main shaft to feathering shaft because I thought they were bent, but they were not. So it only broke the tail boom and the main blades. Very cheap crash. The BL2 has been crashed, like I said, 3 times and nothing. Pick it up, keep flying it. Crashes like a micro. The M1 crashes like a bigger helicopter, but every crash is different. I was doing rainbows with the M1, got too low and slammed it in inverted tail first. All I did was break the tail fin. No other damage to the helicopter. Throttle hold, put it in the ground, just broke the tail fin, $5 fix, back up and flying. The M1 does fly better. The M1 flies honestly like my 550, 600, 700. It just flies incredibly big for what it is. So my personal preference, I would choose the M1 over the BL2, but everybody likes their own thing and everybody has their own preference. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment in the comment section below. Give the video a like and subscribe. Thank you and have a great day.